Hello everyone, I'm Dave Garner with an important message from ETC. Over the years, ETC has been committed to providing affordable cable programming to our customers. But recently, many networks in the Atlanta and Chattanooga areas, including ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox affiliates, have decided to charge and raise rates for programming that you can receive for free from an antenna. So what does this mean? Well, today we have a panel of experts here to talk about retransmission and what it means to you as a cable customer. Joining me in studio today, Roger Futch, our Chief Operating Officer here at ETC, and also our Assistant Vice Presidents. We have Frankie Rigdon, Jason Smith, and Daryl Harper. Daryl, let's start with you. Let's define for our customers and viewers out there, what is retransmission?
Okay. All this started back in 1992 when Congress passed the Cable Television Protection and Competition Act. We just call it the 92 Cable Act. And basically, it gave cable and satellite companies, I guess, the burden of securing consent from the local off-air broadcaster before they can carry those signals on their system. And this act, it gave the broadcasters two choices, one being must carry, and if a broadcaster elects must carry, then the cable company has to carry their signal on their system, but it does not give the broadcaster the right to charge under that situation. However, they also have the option of electing retransmission consent, and this gives all of the broadcasters the, I guess, the right to demand cash for carriage of those signals.
I think what we have is a situation where local cable operators, such as your studio and your station here, are being forced to buy television packaging. Okay. They don't have a choice about being able to say, well, this particular program that's in this package is not really acceptable for our constituents here in this part of Georgia. We don't want that. They're being forced to buy the big packages. So if we can see a breakthrough on that and on what we call retransmission consent, which is the way that you pay for the right to rebroadcast programming, then we will be able to make a huge difference in the quality of television programming that's being presented across this country.
Roger, let's hear from you. Let's talk about our customers. How will this ultimately affect our customers?
Dave, we're trying to deliver the best product we can for the best price we can. And when all of a sudden you get 2,000+% rate increases from the broadcaster, that only means that we don't have a choice but to pass that increase on in the form of a higher rate to our end users. So the system that we're under, this retransmission thing, up until 3 years ago, the broadcasters hadn't really been too aggressive demanding cash for carriage. We began to see a little bit of it 3 years ago, but this time, if you take all the broadcasters together and took their first offer that they put on the table, assuming we couldn't whittle them down any, we're talking about $7, maybe a little higher than $7 per cable subscriber. So if you've got 16,000 cable subscribers, you can do the math and see how many dollars that is. So that would mean that if we're not successful with some negotiating, bringing some of this down, then that would be a rate increase that would not be very pretty for us or the customers. So that's kind of the ramification of it. We've also got broadcasters that are trying to force carriage of other cable networks as part of this process, which just means we'd have more cost involved if we agreed to that. So we're trying to hold the line, try to do as good a job negotiating with these people as we can. At the same time, as Daryl's already said, there's not a lot of competition, so we don't have a lot of leverage when it comes to broadcasting.
And it sounds like the approach from the networks is a take it or leave it approach, which
Absolutely.
means we as a company have very little bargaining power when it comes to those things. Frankie, what is your take on this? How is this going to affect the customers, and how much of an issue is this for people to know about?
It's going to be a huge issue because we strive all the time in all of ETC's products and services to bring a fair price to the customer for a good product. It's trying to strike that good middle of the road. And this is really, they've hit us so hard with these rate increases, and some of the rate increases went from 0 up to a huge amount. So there's really not a way possible that we can take the proposals that are on the table now from these programmers and not pass some of it on to the consumers. So now those consumers are our customers that we're working hard to bring a good product to. So we have to question now is, do our customers, are they willing to pay extra for what these programmers are asking us to pay them for? And that's one thing that we'll have to do very soon is through mediums just like we are now, try to find out, do our customers want to pay more for these services, or can ETC go out and find them something else that they're willing to accept? At the same time, the model that these stations were built on is they've got advertisers, and the advertisers pay money to get to the end user, which is ETC's customers. We're taking that signal to ABC's customers. We're taking that signal to CBS, Fox's customers. And so therefore those stations are getting their advertisers to the end user, which is our customers. Sure. And that's a benefit to the stations themselves, yet now they're wanting to ask us to pay extra money on top of that so that their advertisers can get to our customers. It just doesn't seem fair that our customer should have to pay extra for that.
And this is not just an ETC issue. I mean, this is a national fight that's going on all across the country with small, rural cable companies just like ourselves, and even some bigger companies as well. Some of the folks that have the resources to fight back have tried to do that against the networks, but it's been a very uphill battle. Jason, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, just like you said, it's not just an ETC issue. We've got, for instance, right now, I know lots of folks have seen it and heard it. Dish right now has a large broadcaster out of Chattanooga off their air right now. They're facing the same exact thing that we're facing. So we've set up a microsite, etcnow.com/no rate increase. It's got a lot of good information as far as how our customers can help us get some words back to the congressman, to the folks that really, at the end of the day, they're the ones that could help bring change back to this. It's just totally, a lot of things you can kind of make sense out of, I guess, in life, but it just doesn't make sense to me that if I've got an antenna, I can receive this signal for free at no charge, but you're going to have to pay for it if ETC delivers it to you, and that's just totally unfair, I believe. So.
And Frankie made a good point in that we're delivering these signals out to our customers, and in a lot of cases, especially now that we've transferred to digital signals from the broadcasters, they can't reach the end user without ETC extending the reach of these broadcasters.
What are some things that our customers can do if people want to take a proactive approach? And we want to encourage people to do that. I think a lot of times people are concerned about their cable rates going up and things like that. There are some things that you can do. You can let your voice be heard. Darrell, what are some things that folks can do?
Well, first and foremost, like Jason's already said, the people that can make a difference are our congressional delegation. So I would urge folks to visit the webpage that Jason mentioned, as well as go to house.gov, senate.gov, and contact your local congressman, senator, and hopefully get some of these laws changed. Contact the FCC. They're the enforcer of the rules. So.
We may have to make some decisions to take something off the air. So we'd like to hear from our customers on what their feelings are. As we get a little closer, we may be able to put some percentages or some rates out there and kind of, hear back from you guys and see what we can do. We want to provide whatever service that our customers want, but we also want to be able to provide it at the value that folks can afford, because we understand the economic situation of today. A lot of times when we have rate increases, a lot of folks think, that we're just padding our pocket, so to speak, but at the end of the day, the programmers are driving these rates up, and we don't really have a lot of control over any of that. So,
Frankie, final thoughts?
Yeah, I love the demographics that we're in here. We're small town country people, and we show up at basketball games and football games, and we tend to all know each other or know somebody that knows somebody, and so you don't have to stop on a state or federal level. You can talk to your city councilman, you can talk to your county commissioner, and ask them, say, hey, if you know of people that you can talk to help us with this, ask them to help you with it. Just tell them, hey, I don't want my cable rates to go up. And I know that they're going to have to go up if this continues because there's no other option to get around it. So yeah, talk to anybody that you know that can help, and call the networks and say, I don't like this. You know, I don't want to pay you more.
Right.
The network will probably try to tell you that, well, you're not paying me more, you're paying ETC more, but that's not the truth. The truth is they're raising the rates, and we're just having to follow up.
Roger, I'll give you the last word.
Well, Dave, I'm just sitting here listening to these guys, and they've pretty much put a lot of the points out there. The one point, we've got all the major networks on our system, and we've got retransmission. Election is the word they used from every broadcaster that we have, major broadcaster that we have. The thing that I think the viewers need to understand, in the economic times we're living in, not a one of these contracts is less than 100%. All of them are over 100% increase over what we're currently paying. So if we're paying whatever we're paying, let's say we're paying 50 cents, they're asking for 100% more, which would be $1 if I'm doing my math right. So it gets to be a real challenge as to how to package up channels that the customers want to watch and programming that the customer wants to watch at the same time, holding costs down. And that's the message we're trying to leave to our consumers and to our customers is, you know, this is not fair. It's not fair to small business. It's not fair in economic times. The law in Washington is broke. You need to contact your congressmen and senators and tell them that we need some action on this. Also, I would encourage our customers to call whatever station it is they like, whether it be ABC, CBS, whatever. Call the local station and tell them, you know, we don't want to see ETC have to drop you. We need you to negotiate fairly and get your rates in some kind of reasonable. I think we're a reasonable company and we would negotiate a reasonable rate. But I have a hard time doubling or tripling what I'm paying, because I know at the end of the day who's going to pay that.
Sure.
And who's going to pay that is the consumer, the cable TV subscriber. And you know, we've already said it, but it's just a little unfair that you can't reach the station without somebody like an ETC to get the signal to you, or if you can get the signal, you get it for free with an antenna. So one or the other, all of our customers fall in that category. So I hope that's the final thoughts.
Roger brought up a good point there in that in a good economy, we can expect rate increases for whatever products and services we buy, whether it's toothpaste at the grocery store or whether it's ABC that you're getting from ETC Cable. A normal rate increase is expected. We can work with those things. What we're talking about here is just like Roger said, 100% increases over what the past rate was is just it's astronomical, and it is unfair to the consumer.
And 100% may not be justice. In some cases, it's over
2,000.
Absolutely.
200, but 2,000%
Right.
increase.
Not only a 2,000% increase in this particular network, it's all the other things they want you to do in addition, like launch some of their cable stuff. So your costs just keep going up if you do that. So
Here we go.
Dave, one more point. At this point in time, we are negotiating with all of the off-air broadcasters, but as we get closer to 12/31/11, we don't have the right to carry these signals past 12/31/11. We're hoping if we can't reach an agreement that we can get some type of extension from these broadcasters, but if not, then those stations will have to go dark, at least temporarily, and hopefully, you know, we can use that to our advantage as some leverage in that fact that they are dark. So just want to let our customers be aware that on some of these more aggressive broadcasters, at least temporarily, they could, you know, go dark, and hopefully not permanently, but we just want to give everybody a heads up of what might come about as we get closer to the first of the year.
Well, gentlemen, thank you guys for joining us here today. And once again, we want to remind our customers that we want to hear from you. And we have explained some things that you guys can do today as well. Bottom line is ETC is being asked to pay a very unacceptably high rate for programming that many folks can get for free. As Frankie mentioned, normal rate increases can be expected over time, but what we're being asked to do is seen as unfair and unacceptable in our eyes, and in providing you with the most affordable cable programming that we can. Again, stay tuned to ETC3 and to ETC Cable for the latest updates on retransmission. Thank you.